is up, guys and gals out there? Welcome back for some more mind test. Gonna be doing the Dragon Radar, basically. But in order to build the Dragon Radar, because I just really want it sitting somewhere in Master Roshi's house, we're gonna have to make the model maker. Which really isn't too hard to do. You just what I always do if I don't already, if I start a new map like on a different game or whatever, because I'll usually split my mind test up into different games. Just copy the whole thing and paste it, and that way I'll have like 2 or 3 different mind tests. I have like one for like my main world where I build stuff. I just put everything I build in on one world. And then this one I use to do multiple worlds. Like right now I'm working on Dragon Ball Z stuff. And then I've been planning on making another one just for survival with just a lot of survival mods and stuff. So that's something to think about if you're going to get into Mind Test. You might want to just copy and paste it and change the name a little bit so you can have 2 or 3 different ones. That way you can have a survival one, one where you can build multiple worlds or whatever, and put everything on this one. Or you could just make a bunch of different ones because they're so small they don't take up much space. You could just collect a bunch of mods that you think would go good with whatever you're building. But in this one, we're going to be doing Dragon Ball Z stuff, so I'll go ahead and get a bed. I guess you'll get to see how the model maker, the woolen mesh mod works in the process. Pretty much what you want to do is, I'm doing the 32 by 32 block. You have the 64 by 64, which is just huge. I mean, you see the outline of it. But anything you build inside of that and then save will become miniature in the world. This is the biggest one that they put on here. And the amount of detail that you can put on one square block of whatever you're building in there is insane. I mean, you could make sculptures of whatever you want. You could do anything with it, pretty much. The only limitation it has is colors. I keep hoping that somebody will go back and like work on it, because right now it uses the wool in the game, and there's not that, like, you got these colors right here to work with. It really sucks that there's just no skin color. Because you could do so much more with it, But if you do multiple ones, you're going to end up having to put the pieces together. Like, I guess I'll just show you right quick what I'm talking about, like putting pieces together, if you don't know what all this is all about. I've made quite a few different models for different things that I was doing at the time. Go over here to my meshes. I even did some Resident Evil stuff also, some Mario stuff, just random whatnots, like the rainbow rubber crowbar that I got on Gmod, center block, some simple stuff. But I was testing the 64 block just to see how good it is. I ended up just putting a bunch of random blocks inside of it, and then I saved it, to see if it would actually do all of it, and it did every single block that I put down, even with all the crazy designs and stuff. So that's definitely not a worry thing. See, there's the center block, the crowbar that I made. That's like simple one block stuff. If you do gigantic, complicated things, it'll usually be in pieces, depending on like how big and complicated it is. Like that one was 2. I could have actually did that one in the 64 block, but I accidentally did it in the 32, not really thinking about it. Right here's some Mario stuff, like this one right here. I probably could have did this one in the 62 or 64 also. I was just bad to use the 32 all the time. That's like a stalagmite that'd be hanging from the ceiling in like a Mario level, or just a cave, or you know, just whatever. You got the cannons from Mario. Like you got the bottom piece that I made, and then you got the top piece. You could make a bullet too to put like in front of it or wherever you want to put it. You just make the bullet and you'd have it. Let's see if I can find something a little bit more complex. Got these right here. These are spikes. Like something you'd see at like Bowser's place. I mean, you could put them on top of that. You could just keep extending it without the spike, or you could keep extending it with the spikes. You could just put these like down like this, or you could flip them sideways and stick them on walls. You know, just whatever you want to do with those. So, I mean, you see how it is. It's in like multiple pieces. Naming stuff can be a little bit aggravating, and some of the stuff can get like so complicated. Like this right here is the Raccoon City barriers from Resident Evil 2. I know anybody out there who's a Resident Evil 2 fan knows what I'm talking about. They're like weighed down barriers that like the SWAT team uses for like crowd control and stuff like that, riots, blocking off places. It can be a little aggravating putting down because there's so many pieces of it, but once it's put down, I mean, it looks really, really cool once you get it put down. I even did a couple different signs, pieces for the front of it. Some of it's got blood on it and stuff like that. There's the valve from Resident Evil 2. I had planned on going ahead and doing the Raccoon City Police Department, but I just never got around to it. This right here is in the room where the liquor is. On the original game, like it's right there on the right. Whenever the liquor scurries by the window in the original Resident Evil 2, you walk through the door, and directly on your right, this machine is sitting there. And this machine right here is also sitting like right next to it, so it would have been like, it'd have been like this right here, like in the game. Alright, got that piece, and this one goes on the right side. Yeah, like that right there. I mean, that's exact replicas of the machines, like in that one area in Resident Evil 2 in the original game. I'm not sure what they are. I guess they're like some kind of something to do with electricity or something, maybe. Most of the stuff won't be too complicated though, unless you just get really crazy with it. I mean, like, you could put a bunch of these down and on top of each other and make something absolutely unbelievable if you really wanted to sit down and take the time to do it. You could do like Shenron or whatever you want and have like a miniature, you know, figure or whatever of them. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump in here and get this going. I want you to see exactly how this works. The blocks have to be like this right here. Like they have to be inside this outline on the bottom underneath it, so the wool will sit on top of it. And I'm just gonna go ahead and do this right here. I'm gonna go around like this right here. I always make a bottom just around where the lines are. Just make sure that it's in the right spot. The outline does disappear a little bit here and there, but it's no big deal really. This mod is really, really old, I'm pretty sure, and I keep hoping that somebody will update it or make another one just like it, but with more colors from a different mod. Like find another mod and just use all the different colors from it, because this is the coolest mod that you can get on MUGEN. It's one of the coolest mods I've ever seen in any game, actually. I mean, you always got people wanting to like build all kinds of crazy, cool, gigantic statues and stuff in block building games. Well, this kind of gives you a reason to do that. You can come here and build stuff inside these grids and then make them small, like miniatures, like models, toys, whatever you want to call them. And you can also use it to place the big one down again anywhere you want to by using the grid again, or you'll have the miniature. So like everything that I've built, I can put down one of these grids and just respawn it again, the big pieces of it. It takes a little while to set these model making things up though. I will say that, depending on how big you want it to be and how far you're going to go with it, it can get pretty crazy. It's been a while since I messed with it, but I'm pretty sure that that's how it goes. This one has to be like flush with the line flat. I used to use the filler bucket to do this because it was just way faster. You know, I could just click on the thing with the filler bucket and fill it up, but the filler bucket is kind of broken and I don't think anybody's going to fix it. So kind of just stuck doing this the old-fashioned way. Just make sure this is lined up properly. Yeah, that's good right there. Now I just want to go all the way down and fill this whole little area up with these blocks. It'll take a little bit. I'll probably just skip this part. One of the main things is you always want to make sure that everything's lined up right, like tops facing the way it's supposed to, lefts facing the right way, right, back, and bottom. Because if you get them mixed up like this right here, and you're going to have some crazy messed up models. Okay, finally, after a long time of putting down lots and lots of blocks, I'm finally back. Wow, that took a while without having the filler bucket and all that, man. But yeah, this is pretty much what it should look like. Everything should be lined up on the corners. I don't pay that no attention. I usually will put like columns at the ends of each of the boards just to make it look better, and I can hook lights onto them if I have to. Sometimes I'll run them like all the way up and then over, but I think I'll just leave it like it is for now. But anyway, I guess it's time to try and build the Dragon Radar from Dragon Ball Z. Let's see. All we need is red. We need red, green. I don't think we need gray. It's kind of more of a white looking color. We need yellow. Let's see, where is the yellow? There it is. Okay, we got red, green, yellow, and white. And those are the colors that the Dragon Radar is. I think I'll just kind of build it out here in the middle. It's been a long time since I built circles, so let's see if I can still do this. I want to get it like in the middle, because wherever you build it inside this block is where it's going to go when you put it down. So I kind of want this one to be close to the edge, but not too close. Slightly like towards the middle. Let's see. Getting the size right, like the dimensions, can be a little bit aggravating. This right here is what's going to be aggravating because I haven't built circles in like so long. I don't know if I should go 2 or 3. It doesn't have to be like super crazy looking. This ain't like ain't trying to win any kind of awards or anything. Just want it to look like pretty good. Don't want it to be too big though. See, that's just too big. Need to bring it back a little bit. Dial it back. Maybe try 2 and then see what this looks like. Oh man, that's still just too big. It's probably gonna look kind of wonky without having the bottom pieces. Well, maybe not. Like I said, you think like this is one square block, so like this is gonna be sitting like right here, and it's probably gonna be like that big around, you know. You just kind of want to be careful whenever you're doing this because you don't want stuff to end up being like way too big and look really stupid. See if that's far enough over. Yeah, that looks pretty good right there. I think it could come up one more though. Just go up one more on each side. Oops. Yeah, that looks nice. It's gonna be flat down. So if the dragon radar is kind of round on the back, I'm not really sure if it is. It doesn't really matter because it's gonna be laying flat on the table or wherever you put it, on the ground or whatever. It's got this weird shape up here. Kind of turns. Got that big clicker. That clicker button up there. See what this looks like right here. That might look pretty good. Yeah, it looks alright. I think it needs to come back down just a little bit. Try this. Yeah, it looks better. Now it'll just, like that'll be the clicker. So like zoom it in and out, I guess that's what it does. And the dragon radar is really not very thick, so I'm gonna try going up 1 and then bring it in 1 because it does have like a slight lip that goes all the way around. This right here is supposed to be thicker than that actually. I'm kind of scared to do it because it might make it too big. It's supposed to be probably about that thick where the clicker is. So I'm just gonna, I guess I'll just do that. Yeah, it looks better anyway. Maybe it won't end up being too big. Building these models is fun. I just wish it had more colors. If it had more colors, I'd probably spend a lot more time doing stuff. But it's still really fun. You can still do a lot of stuff with it. Okay. See what it looks like with going in 1 all the way around. give it that little lip that it has. $64 is the biggest you can get. I wish they was bigger than that, but maybe one of these days somebody will pick it up and update it, or just copy the code and everything out of it and just make another one, like a newer, better version, more updated. I mean, that would be really nice. More colors, bigger grids. Somebody really needs to do that, because this mod makes it possible to add things to the game that, you know, otherwise you just wouldn't be able to have in your game. And of course, it's gonna get dark. It's annoying as always. You know, I think that clicker's too big. It just doesn't look right like that. What that looks like. Yeah, that looks a little better. I'm gonna have to bring these over. I need to put like 2 there and there. Kind of, it's got like that slope look to it right there. Kind of like a roundish look, honestly. I always try to fill in everything too. Don't really think that it's necessary to do that, but it's probably a good idea to just fill in everything. I don't know if, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I think it's been so long since I read the readmes on it. It can take a decent amount of RAM to, like, the more models you put down that's like in your view distance, I think's what it is, the more power you have to have in your PC. Which, I mean, it ain't no big deal really. I've put down tons and tons and tons of my mods, and I only got 16 gigabytes of RAM, and I never really had any problem with it. But I've always thought, you know, if you leave them hollow, it probably uses more power. It seems like it would anyway, because it's not solid, and it has to render all the different angles on the inside. But it seems like if it was solid, it wouldn't have to render all that, and it wouldn't use as much power. I could be wrong, though. I don't know which way that one should be, like that, or... It really is supposed to have a gap right there, so I guess that'll be okay. I'll go back underneath it and fill it in after I put down the green. Just leave a little hole there for me to get down in there and fill it in. My other mine test, I've been having a little bit of trouble with a couple of the mods on it. The one where I just build tons of stuff on one map instead of trying to follow like a theme. I'm probably going to roll it back to an earlier version of mine test. Because one of the mod magma and ice, I think is what it is like just causing all kinds of problems. So I'll probably do that. As far as I know, all this stuff still works though. I haven't, like, they got a new version of Minetest out right now, but I don't know if I'm going to update to it. I really just don't see the point. They don't really do all that much to it when they do update it. And the only time I've ever had trouble was when the magma and ice tools stopped working and it started making my game crash. You can still play it and it's fine and everything, but if it crashes, you have to take the magma and ice tools out of the mod, like turn them off, go back into the game, then exit, and then turn them back on and go back in. It's fine. I'll probably just roll it back to an older version though. That's supposed to be like one solid round piece. Yeah, that looks better. Got more of a rounder shape to it now. And of course we got the arrow in the middle. I guess I'll just make it like that. It's supposed to be a triangle, but I don't know. It just take up way too much space probably. If I try to make it a triangle, it'll end up being like huge. Yeah. I don't know. I'll try like a regular one here and see what it looks like. Let's try to go a little smaller with it. I don't guess there's any way of really doing it unless you just do it like that. Which I mean, that's fine. Doesn't really matter. It's a voxel square world anyway. And the Dragon Balls. Just put like a yellow dot. Yellow dot and a yellow dot. Okay, I'm just gonna jump down in there. You could make it look better than this. I'm just going with this because it's a little simpler and quicker. But you could make it a little bit bigger than that and put a little bit more detail in it if you really wanted to. You just wouldn't want to make it too big because then it would look really, really goofy. When Bulma holds it in her hand, it takes up like her whole hand. So, I mean, it is pretty decent size. This is why I always fill before I seal. Because it gets so dark you can't really see. And now that I don't have the filler bucket though, my god, man, it could just take so long to fill stuff. Just thinking about some of the other models that I built that I actually filled up with the filler bucket, I wouldn't even try it now that I don't have it. So I don't know. From now on, if I make models, I might end up making them hollow because I don't want to deal with it. As long as you ain't gonna, as long as it's sealed on the bottom and you ain't gonna be flipping it or rotating it, it's fine. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna try to see if I can't find something that'll replace the filler bucket, but it's really the, I'll look it up here. It's called the floor filler, power tools. It's an old mod, and it's not even on the MUGEN mod page. It's on like GitHub, I think. You just have to look up like floor filler power tools or filler bucket. I wish somebody would snatch it up and update it and move it to the MUGEN mod page so everybody could enjoy it and start using it. It makes it makes building way faster and easier. You know, if I'm building a 100 by 100 thing and it's empty, I don't want to sit there and have to fill the whole thing up. When you can just point that thing like right here, click the button, and it fills that whole layer up. As long as there's a wall all the way around. But now, whenever you try to use it, it, forgot I had no collide on. It tries to go through blocks And let's just say that you don't want it doing that because I had a gigantic area fill up with gravel and it all fell down on the ground and all over trees, and I had to go back and break like all of it. It was such a nightmare. I was screaming when it did it because I was like, no, it's going to fill up the whole world like one layer. But thank God it didn't. It went pretty far though, and it took a while to fix all the issues. Thankfully though, I got that under control and don't really have to worry about it. Just don't use it no more. Alright, that thing's filled up. And there's one simple dragon radar. I'll probably just call it that too, like simple dragon radar. If I ever want to, I can come back and try to make a more complicated version. I don't think you could squeeze too much more detail in it. If you had a bigger grid, you know, that's a 64. If you had something bigger, you could do even more detail. So I said somebody really needs to grab a hold of this mod and copy everything out of it or something and rework it and make it better. If anybody's watching this and they ever decide to do something like that, all you gotta do is get it to work with something besides wool, like the pixel art mod. You can go down here to the pixel art mod and it has every color you can possibly imagine in it. If you could like if I wish I could do it, but I'm not smart enough. I don't know how to make mods and update them and work on them and stuff. I really wish I could, but I just don't want to take the time to learn how to do that. But this right here is what you need to use if anybody's out there watching this and thinking about updating it or working on it or making a new one. It's just go here and get the pixel art mod. I don't know if it's on the content Nightcore mod site. It might be on GitHub, but that would be a good one to use. You don't have to, you wouldn't have to use that one. There's lots of other mods with lots of colors too. That one's just really good. It's just got a bunch of different colors. But anyway, once you get what you want built and everything's fine, go back and double check everything. Make sure that's what you really want. That's the way you want it to be. Just go over here to your main control block, right click it. I'm gonna call this simple dragon ball radar. And let's see, generate backup matrix, ignore variants. I want it to be plain. You can do plain border, wool border, just whatever. This is how many faces and stuff that it uses. Like if I always just turn it up to like a stupid number because I don't want like it to mess up when it's making it. So like it's automatically 8,000. But if you have over 8,000 faces and all that stuff or whatever, it won't copy all of it. So you might as well just go ahead and fill it up with zeros or 999999999 or whatever. But once all this is done, you just go up here and click capture. Okay, let's see. That one has 663 voxels, 734 vertices, 732 faces. See, it was 8,000. This one has 732, but I went ahead and turned it up anyway because I don't want to take any chances. But once you do that, you just exit out, go back to the main menu, and then just go right back into the world. Alright, now I'm back in the game, and ignore those errors up there. It ain't no big deal. They say grid. See, where is it? Yeah, right here, the steel bronze grid. That's something else that got messed up in one of the updates, but I don't pay it no attention because it doesn't really hurt anything, and so I don't really care about trying to figure out which mod it is and then remove it. But you can just put in meshes and it'll show like everything you've made. I forgot I made that actually. Yeah, the Batman. I forgot I did that. There's probably quite a few on there I forgot about. But I'm just going to put in simple, dragon. And there it is. There's the dragon radar. Whoo, look at that. There's the dragon radar. That's pretty cool. It looks pretty good. It's like I said, you could probably make it just a little bit wider so it'd be a little bit more round, and you could probably get a little bit more roundness off of this right here using the 64 by 64, but you know, that right there is good enough for me. They is smaller ones too. I'll just go ahead and go here. I don't know why you would ever really want to use these. There's like a 2. Oh, come on. Get back on there and get rid of this junk. You got 2, 4, 8. The 32 is what I used to use all the time. The 32 is good if you're doing big projects that don't have a lot of detail in it, and you want to like hook a couple of them together. But really, you'd be better off to just use the 64 by 64s, just hook a bunch of them together, and you know, just go with that. The 2s, I have no clue what in the world you'd want to use that for. It's just one. I mean, I guess it'd be okay if you was wanting to make blocks, you know, like building blocks, like really simple, no detail building blocks. But you could use the 4 and do a little bit more detail on your single blocks that you want to make to build with. And then you got the 8, even more detail, and the 32. If you did the, like, you could take this 64 block and just fill the whole thing up with like one color or multiple colors or whatever you're trying to do. You could go back around it and start carving it, you know, like sculpting, and sculpt whatever you want out of it, like designs in the brick, like to make it look gray, like brick or whatever, and make your own blocks to build stuff with. But anyway, now that the dragon radar is complete, it is time to go to Master Roshi's house. And we're going to put the dragon radar in there. And we have arrived at Master Roshi's island. I'm really happy with how this turned out. It turned out great. I did go back and didn't show in the video, but I went back around the island and put one layer of sand underneath it, you know, just to make it look like it's sloped a little bit, which it pretty much is flat in the anime and most of the videos and stuff. Let's go ahead and grab our dragon radar. Still gonna have to figure out what to do about the front door. I did put some lights in here, like lamps. Put down a table, you know, like it's supposed to be a table there. Put down the VCR and all that, because this is based off of the Dragon Ball version of his house. Man, it did turn out really good. Now I just got to figure out where to put that. I guess I'll just put it right there on the table. That really didn't take all that long to do. The only reason it took so long is because I had to go ahead and set up the model editor to make models with. If I'd already had it set up, it would have been really fast. That's just something else added to Roshi's house to make it feel more like Roshi's. I might in later videos come back and make some more stuff to put in here to try to make it more like Roshi's. I'll just have to go back and watch through my Dragon Ball Z, get online, try to find some images of the insides of his house. You know what, few times that people actually go in there and it shows. Maybe I can find some that shows some things in there. Up here, I could definitely add some things in here, like especially the closet, like Launch. She keeps all her like machine guns and stuff in this closet right here. So I could probably make some ammo boxes, like some really simple looking ammunition boxes. Maybe some dynamite sticks. Maybe her tall bazooka. You know, the big green bazooka she uses because it looks really simple. It's like an old-fashioned bazooka and, you know, stuff like that. Maybe a little pistol. Over here, I can't remember what was on this side. Probably clothes and stuff. But, you know, it'd be really easy to make a clothes rack in the model maker. Just run a round beam across. It'd have to be 4 blocks. You'd have to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Then run the beam across. And then just make some t-shirt looking shapes and maybe some pants shapes. And then just use the model maker to save it. Then you'd have 4 pieces that you could put together and make a clothes rack. Or you could just make some dirty clothes, like make a pile of clothes inside the 1 block on the model maker. You know, like some just wrinkled up clothes and socks and stuff, and then just throw them in there or whatever. Like I said, I might come back and do that. I really want to go a little bit overboard on making all this stuff because I know there's so many people out there already made Master Roshi's house in Minecraft and other games, but none of them could go inside and put stuff in them like I'm doing, that I know of anyway, by using the model maker on this game. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for this video. In the next one, we're going to move on. We are going to say goodbye to Roshi's, and we are going to move on over and start working on Kami's Lookout. And man, am I looking forward to it and kind of dreading it at the same time because I know it's going to be pretty tough, but it's going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to it. I already got plenty of pictures and blueprints to go by. I'm going to try to make it as close to the original as absolutely possible, like I always do whenever I'm building stuff. So definitely stick around for that video. Thanks for watching. I hope you're all having a great time out there watching me do all this goofy stuff. Be sure to check out my description for my other YouTube channel link. And I do have Twitter and Facebook and all that other stuff on there, but I really just haven't been messing with any of that lately. You know, I might start messing with it again sometime. It just, you know, it's just something I don't really have time for because I'm doing so many other things. And it gets kind of boring, honestly. I'd rather be doing something else. But you can go check that out too. I also keep my schedules in my description, so be sure to check out my latest videos and scroll on down the description for my schedules of what I'm currently doing. Because, I mean, sometimes I'll jump around doing different things. I've been trying not to jump around from one thing to another too much. Like what I'm doing as of right now of this video, I'm probably going to be doing for a while. I am thinking about doing Velourion or something like that. I think that's what it's called later. It's like an open source voxel based RPG game that's really, really awesome from what I've seen of it. I think it's Velourion or something like that. But I mean, it's open source. I mean, I love open source stuff. Like, this is the best open source game ever made, in my opinion. But, This next one might actually topple it. I don't know. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'm out of here. Have fun. Peace out. Have a great day. Goodbye.